Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Gotenks and Piccolo unit that has come to DBZ Dokkan Battle with the 8th anniversary. Now Piccolo and Gotenks, or Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks and Piccolo, is a pretty interesting unit. They are, I would say, good but inconsistent. The real question is more their role that they have in the game, more so than anything else. They are a little bit kind of funky in design. I think they did the best decision they could with their link set and making it heavily favored to Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks units, but realistically it's kind of their design that's a bit strange. So we have them being a gifted warriors lead of 130%. They raise attack on their 11 key attack whilst raising defense and causing supreme damage on their 12 key, which is pretty good. So they do stack defense, which is nice. They have attack and defense of 100% and additional attack and defense of 150% when performing a super attack. They have a high chance of changing key spheres to rainbow key spheres, which is good and has great synergy with the summonable anniversary units. And they recover 5% HP per rainbow key sphere obtained. They'll have an additional attack of 50% and launch a additional attack that has a high chance of coming a super attack when key is 11 or less, and a medium chance of evading enemies' attacks, including super attacks, when key is 12. So the 12 key attack is definitely the more defensively orientated. Not only does it raise your defense permanently, but it also gives you medium evasion chance. Whereas the 11 key attack is far more offensively orientated, raising your attack whilst also simultaneously giving you an additional super. Because of this, and because of the way they work, you probably want to build them into primarily crit, as I find just getting the 12 key is not only easier since it allows you to prioritize healing, but allows them to just function a bit better overall. Because they have 150% attack and defense when performing a super attack, supports function pretty well with these guys, and the link set's pretty decent. Innocence, Prodigy, Super Saiyan, Solid Support, Over in a Flash, Fused Fighter, and Fierce Battles all pretty good. They link pretty decently with any fusion unit or any Super Saiyan fusion unit, as well as linking pretty decently with any Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks unit or any Gotenks unit in general. They also link pretty well with Super Saiyan Gotenks, Trunks, etc. So, in terms of category, they're on Majin Buu Saga, Joined Forces, Final Trump Card, Connected Hope, Gifted Warriors, Heavenly Events, Entrusted Will, Fused Fighters, and Earthbred Fighters. One of the weirder decisions, at least for me, is that they don't actually fit on like the major leads, if I am correct. Well, I guess they fit on Final Trump Card, but realistically speaking, they are okay as a unit. I think they're not as bad as people make them out to be. I think they're just a little bit limited. The moment you get a good Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, you'll be running these guys, but I think a lot of the time people don't like it when there are good second slot or third slot units, and they prefer every unit to kind of be a second slot unit, or sorry, a first slot unit. But I think overall these guys are decent. 3 million attack stats, 100k defense before supering. With that being said, they'll raise that defense a lot upon super. We're talking it going to like 250, close to 300k. They stack every turn. They have medium evasion. I think overall they're pretty good. And their consistency is pretty decent. At 55%, they're not bad in any way, shape or form. And I think if you've got a couple dupes in them, they can be a pretty nice unit for the Majin Buu Saga team. I think the biggest issue they have is that they don't have the clearest running partner, but I think overall they're still a solid option, in most situations. I just see them looking pretty decent. Sometimes 83k can seem low, but when you add in their multiplier, they just genuinely look pretty solid. In a similar vein to Ice and Nova Shenron, I think the biggest thing about them is just the fact that they are a little bit wonky in design. Like, I think most times a lot of players will kind of sit and be super happy with like how consistent a unit is, whereas with these guys it's similar to a lot of problems you have with Gotenks units. it's the randomness that they struggle to capture with Dokkan units. You know, people like consistency, so when you have a unit that's like, wow, is it, you know, really good, or was offensive at 11 key, but is more defensive at 12 key. People don't like this, they don't like, you know, the choosing, and I think choosing on key is kind of difficult, especially when you have a unit that heals off rainbow orbs, because you want to prioritize the healing and collecting as many rainbow orbs as possible, but then at the same time, you know, that causes you to never really take the 11 key option. And yeah, I don't think you should. I think if there's anything I would say, you probably don't want to take the 11 key option. Now they do share some decent links with the LR. They share Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan, and Fierce Battle, which is okay. It's not really the craziest, but it's decent. And they do create Rainbow Orbs, which does at least set up for the Majin Buu LR, but I think they could have shared one more link. Having Piccolo on their card was the perfect excuse to give the units experienced fighters instead of something like, you know, solid support or anything like that. And I think that would have been the perfect kind of juxtaposition for them, to just give them that experienced fighters and allowing them to be a 4-link unit with the LR would have been pretty good and would have enabled people to really use them. It's again a similar problem with Ice and Nova Shenron. You know, you summon them, they're a general banner unit, but then they just don't sync up with the LR. Like beyond GT, they just don't sync up with them. And so it's a unfortunate side effect. But overall, it's decent stuff. Relatively decent, I would say. And yeah, I think they're fairly consistent. Link leveling is not the wildest for this unit. You don't have to do it. It doesn't really give you much. You know, Innocence gives you a bit of attack. Prodigy is a bit of attack. Super Saiyan a bit of attack. Solid Support a bit of attack. Over in a Flash a bit of attack. Fused Fighter a little bit of attack and defense. And Fierce Battle a little bit of attack. But as a super unit compared to an extreme unit, just not too much that you get. There's not crazy value in leveling super units, you know, compared to extreme units who tend to benefit a lot more just via design. Like just by design choice, they tend to benefit a lot more. But I would say overall, a good unit with a decent link set. I am glad that they went majority Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. I think things like the Innocence and that helps them just as a unit in general and makes it a little bit more runnable. Just a little bit more of like a flexi option than anything else, considering all the units that have come out. But yeah, that's basically it, I would say. Beyond that, honestly, not too much really to share, not too much really in the way of performance. And yeah, at the end of the day, just a very, very nice unit with decent utility. I definitely think they benefit from dupes. I think they just kind of stuck in between people's expectations, and I think the randomness of Gotenks units isn't something people enjoy. So I do think that detracts a little bit from the functionality of them as a unit. But yeah, beyond that, I would probably say they're pretty much good, or they as good as, you know, I think they can be, and I think they're maybe 1 or 2 links away from being a really solid option. But that's going to be it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So until then, take care, stay safe, and yeah, see you next time. Bye.